Now in this lesson, I want to talk a little bit more about Eloquent ORM and the migration. Let's just pop over to iTerm. In the root of your application, you want to just type a command that runs and creates the model for us, which was php artisan make model. Previously I told you if you create a model, Laravel is not going to create a migration for you, but there is a option for you. You can pass to let Laravel knows that you need a migration for this model, which is -- migration or -m for short. You're just going to type -m for short. So you see that we haven't named anything for that. So I'm just going to call this admin and then -m. So model created successfully, and then you can see that created migration is already has been created and named to create admins table. These naming conventions are really important because these conventions, Laravel knows that this is your table name, and then you can use it in your model. If you pop over here, and you can see that we have admin, which uses our namespace app, and then Eloquent model, and then if you pop over to database and open up the migrations, you can see that we have there you go, admin pages. So we have schema drop, and also we have schema create admin function blueprint table. So I didn't mention anything about blueprints. Blueprint is something that prevents keeps track of your models and tables. Lets PHP keep track of your models and everything. And if something wrong, it's gonna issue an error or fatal error for you to be able to see it. So in this op method, you can see that we have a schema create admins, and table naming convention is really important. Whatever you name your model, which is going to be admin singular, your table name is going to be plural, and then the file name is going to be create admins table plural as well. And also we have ID and a timestamp, nothing else. If you want to add more stuff to it, go ahead and use the table convention. Add more stuff to it, which is going to be like a string, or let's say string name, and so on. So this is what you can do. But if you pop over to Chrome and localhost phpMyAdmin, I want to show you that if you look at the phpMyAdmin, it doesn't ask my username. I'm sick of this. So if you go pop over here in a new app, there is no table such as admin. So after creating your table, after creating your model and migration, Laravel lets you to add more codes into your table, and then after everything is done, you can come back over here and let's say PHP artisan migrate either force or without force. So this is all you need to do. This is the first step. The second point I want to talk about, if you come back to your admin.php model, is if you inside the class type nothing, this model does not usually knows that you have the admin class name. Whatever you're using here is gonna like make it lowercase admin and add s at the end of it and use that table for you. If you want to change the table to something else, what you need to do is type protected, and then the table, then make it equals to something else. Let's say users. And this will let this model know that you're using a user instead of admins. If you don't mention this, it shows that this model is using admin table, not user table. So if you want to change the table name, you can change it inside the admin class or whatever your model class name is. Eloquent will also assume that every table has a primary key column name ID. So for example, it knows that you already, for example, we have this migration created, and you saw that Laravel created this ID by default. So it knows that you have this ID primary key. So if you want to also change that, you have to change with the variable primary key and set it to something else. Let's say if you don't have ID, let's say user-ID. You want to change the name to, you can change it like this, but also you have to make it protected like this and use it. But I'm going to leave it to ID. Also, another thing is, if you open up this admin table migration, you also have timestamp. If you remove it, also your model knows that you already have this timestamp. If you want to remove you from your migration, which is not a good idea, you can just come back here and set public timestamps equals false. This will let you don't have any timestamps anymore in your migration or your table. So this is what I wanted to talk about all in this video. In the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about relationships and how to have relationships between your table. Since you create a model, so let's say we have admin model and a painting model. If you want to create a relationship between these two models, which are representing a database table, we need to use relationships. And if you know that we have three different relationships types, like one-to-many, many-to-many, and one-to-one. Relationships called one-to-one is not as useful as one-to-many, and relationships called many-to-many has to be resolved with either composite table or join table. Before watching the next video, I ask you to go ahead and study a little bit more about database relationships before we go ahead and talk about relationships in the next video.